Welcome to another Sunday Live. My name is Daryl Ledyard. I'm along with Stephen Brocklehurst. How are you, Stephen?
Evening. Very good. Exciting week. I promised some people that some point throughout this, I'm going to show how to hide a magic page license key and give someone admin rights to your WordPress without them then being able to see the key.
So that'll be a cool little trick. So you'll kind of show us that. Do you see I got rid of some of my grays? I got my beard.
You're looking very dapper. Very. It's funny. My hair's growing back right now. I haven't had a chance to shave my head. Yeah, wow. When I'm sat like this, it just looks like any other week.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
it's when it was like up here that it'll be totally different. But
yeah.
No, things are good. And then I said to someone else in the week, they wanted to know the difference between Leadgenmagic themes and MPP themes. So later on in the show, I'll explain that. And I know in the week we talked about a format, and so we've been. I've had a bit of feedback from a few people that watch us each week, and one or two people have said that some weeks it goes on for like an hour and a half, sometimes it's an hour. So I know me and Daryl talked of trying to keep it as close to an hour as we can. Sometimes some of the demos we're doing and bits we're doing may overrun a little bit, but that way then you guys each week will know that 10 p.m. UK time and 5 p.m. EST time, that roughly it'll be about an hour, and we'll always make sure. Maybe I don't know if you'd like this idea, Daryl, but
sure.
15 minutes before the end of the hour, we'll do the Wheel of Fortune, and we'll aim to invite you guys on before that. So if there's any additional stuff we need to go through, we can do those bits for you, and then those that need to disappear can, and we can always do an extra bit of training if we have to address that into the second hour for maybe 15 minutes or so.
Awesome. Well, so Stephen and I have been looking to add another person to our show. We have selected someone that we feel has been pretty active and helpful in making suggestions and whatnot. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to our third guest host, our guest host, Simon. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Daryl. Thanks for the build up there, and good to be with you on the stream, guys. So hopefully this will be helpful and useful for everyone as well. A useful addition. So
I see it being amazing, Simon, because one of the weeks we couldn't do it because of other commitments. And what normally happens is when there's two of us on here, the dynamic works well, because if I'm having to set something up, Daryl would talk and vice versa. And having you on board as well, the weeks that one of us can't do it, well, normally on average, the other two can. So it just means that it frees us up a bit. You know, there's holidays coming up throughout the year, and you know, UK we have different bank holidays and bits and pieces, and so between us we can always work it all out and give value to the people that are watching this. That's what we like to do, you know. And I know you've got some plans. Do you want to share a little bit of what you're going to tell us tonight? Maybe don't give too much away.
Yeah, I won't go to the whole thing. I mean, just to introduce myself, obviously I'm Simon. I'm been working on my own mass page sites. I've been doing some work in the background with both Stephen and Daryl. So I'm building up my own portfolio of sites. As well as that, I run an SEO course. So I do SEO coaching, and I have an online course on my own Facebook group separately. And as well as that, I also work as a professional photographer. So I'm a Google trusted photographer. I am a drone pilot, qualified drone pilot, and do 360 tours. So I'm going to be talking about tonight a bit about SEO image optimization, which hopefully will be useful for people. So just to talk through the workflow I go through in terms of compressing images and optimizing images for SEO. Anyway, we won't go through the whole thing, but that's what I'll cover off. Hopefully that'll be helpful for people a bit later on.
Marvelous. It's going to be good. We've got some great value coming up over the weeks, and some weeks I'll have some value to give, and some weeks Daryl will, and some weeks someone will, and some weeks I might not have anything to give to you. But we're here to try and encourage you guys. All we ever want you to do is do well in your business. And I always say every week, focus on one area. There's so many shiny objects out there that come out, and the next magic push button thing comes out. everyone who comes on here, most people who come on here are interested in a lead generation of some sort or mass pages, and we want to give value in those products to be able to show people quicker ways of doing things and a good way of doing things to make your lives easier. All you need to do is take action, and you'll do well out of it.
Yeah, so this week was a big week with Magic Page plugin coming out with their 6.0. We got the training that came out on Thursday, and people are playing with it and testing it out. Of course, recommended to back up your site or just use this on sites you're just testing at this point. But there's a lot of fascinating things that we'll be able to do with the different groups and categories as posts and pages. So we look forward to in the next coming weeks to kind of show you some advanced ninja stuff. We did have people sign up for an advanced training back in January that we were waiting until this came out. So I'll be scheduling that with those individuals. And we might open the doors one more time for additional people if they haven't signed up for the advanced training to get onto the advanced training. So we'll do it in 2 different sessions so everybody has a chance to say something. Now, one of the other things I want to say is Simon, we're bringing him on so that he can also help do some coaching and help with websites and consulting and things like that. Stephen and I are both pretty busy. Mike Martin's busy, Keith's busy. So I think it's time that we add another person into our group to offer some kind of services for you. So we're not ready to just throw him out there yet. We're, working on teaching him some of our tricks of the trade that we're doing. And but I think, Simon, you're going to be a welcome asset for us. So.
Okay, happy to help. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that's caught my eye about Simon is that he was doing some work with GPT-3 projects like conversion.ai and our Siphon and things like that. And he's been giving me some good advice and ideas about what we could do to make Siphon better. And we're looking to improve it, based on some of the things that he said and other people have said. So we really wanted to add another set of eyes to what we're doing so we can have some people look over and increase the quality of all of the softwares that we have, Leads Detective, Geoholics, everything. So we have some extra quality control, and that's what we're hoping Simon will be able to help on the team to do. So yeah. So we're going to kind of break this into 3 different areas, segments. So first, there'll be the show and tell, which will show our tips and tricks of our week. Each one of us will take some time to show us what we've discovered this week that we want to pass along to the audience. Then we will answer questions, just your random questions and whatnot. That'll be in the chat all the time. You can always ask your questions. And then we will take guests, and then we will then do the giveaway. So the giveaway is of a domain worth about $1,000, depending on where you look, and you'll be able to take the domain over as of tonight. So one lucky winner will walk away with a domain name. All right. So who wants to go first and do show and tell of the week?
Well, if you want, I've got the. I know Harlan has popped on, and I'll show the message. He mentioned to me how to hide the API key and allow a VA to go in. So I'm happy to do that. I will hit the share button and grab the right screen, and we will go through this, Harlan, for you. This is a useful little tip. To do for people when you really want to. If I can get to the right thing in a minute. That's weird. My screen's not sharing. Do you want to talk for a second, Daryl, while I just fix this?
Sure. Yeah. While you're fixing this, we're going to try to do the segment with the most value right up front, which is to show you some tips and tricks, some things that we've come up with over the week, and things we would like to show off. So that's what the first stage of what we're doing. But get your questions together. We'd like to fill the screen with our guests. So we'll give you our guest link coming up, and you'll be able to join us right on screen and welcome Simon and jump with your questions for us. So again, we'll try to make it value packed and try to keep it under an hour as best we can. So, here we go.
Yep, all sorted. So if you look on the screen here, I've already installed Magic Page plugin. And so the idea is you've got the API key there. And what you can normally do is you can click on the show tab and that will show your key. Now, I'm obviously not going to do that now because it'll show my key and I have to change hundreds of sites. So what you need to do is go to users and very simply add a new user. So I've already filled the details in on the second tab here. And I'm going to just make a note of the password so I remember it and make a copy. And now I'm going to add new make sure it's an administrator so they can do edits and stuff, and add new user. I'll just click save so that it will remember. And we will, as I do this, I'm going to then log back in, and I'm going to show you how to set everything up. And I've got a strange feeling my screen's thrown a wobbly again. Let's see if here we go. Right. So you log in as the new user. And now I'm going to come back to Magic Page and I'm going to go to the settings. And as you can see now, as a new administrator, the actual showing where the API key is totally gone. So it's very simple. Create another user. Now, the only other tip I recommend to people on this is if you set someone up, sometimes it's better to drop the admin rights from administrator to the next one down in the user account. Otherwise, what they can always do, if they know what they're doing, they can go to the users, reset your password of your account, and go in and still get the API key. So it's good to make sure they don't have full control of the site as an administrator, that sometimes you have no choice but to give admin rights to a user if they need to do absolutely everything. If you have to do that, just don't tell them, always check you can log in as yourself and that they can't have access to your account. If the password changes, then you know they've gone and done something they shouldn't. It's unlikely they'll do that because unless you tell them to, most people wouldn't think of changing the main admin password to get in. But as you can see now on this screen, the actual option there now is hidden for the API key. So it just means logging in as another user, as another administrator, hides the API key for Magic Page plugin. And it's as easy as that, really.
I like it. That's cool. If you have sometimes you can have a super admin. If you have like there's like a admin plugin, management plugin. I forget what it's called today, but that can help you to make a super admin. And then if you put Magic Page plugin in under that, you should be okay because you shouldn't be able to have admins change your password. But that's a really good point. And if they have access to your database or that kind of thing, they can always reset your password there too. So that's always an area where you could be concerned about that, right, Stephen? So.
Yeah. Now, something else I've learned this week, I was having a few problems with slow websites, and I thought, it must be the servers and stuff, only to find out that Google had done an update not long ago with Chrome. So I was chatting to a few people in a group I'm in, and they turned around and they said, have you tried the Brave browser? And I went, well, no, what is it? The Brave browser is basically the Google browser with all the rubbish stripped out of it. And the cool thing is it actually restricts more and more of the adverts that can pop up as well. It's such a clever browser. And I did a test on loading a site on Brave and on Google, and Brave, boom, instantly loaded my site. Google was waiting forever. So, so if you want a really good browser, I highly recommend Brave as an amazing browser to use. I don't know if you've used Brave at all, any of you guys?
I have.
No, I'm not used to it, no.
What do you think of it, Daryl?
I've used it. Somebody recommended it for me for the speed and also security. There's another one that I use called Vivaldi, which was created by the folks that created Opera. And that's similar. You can use Chrome extensions with that. But I don't know. For some reason, I use Chrome the most just because I log into my Google accounts with it. And then everything is associated with my Google accounts for that particular business or project I'm working on.
Yeah, I mean, I use LastPass to save all my passwords now.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah,
means because it's all across everywhere. Then anywhere on my phone, I can log in very quickly using LastPass. And something else that came up in the week, I've had a few people sending support tickets going. On the MPP hosting and on Leadgenmagic hosting, they get a 404 error or a blank page or can't be displayed. Now, something that the support team have picked up on, if you use a VPN service, a lot of them are blocked. And the reason being is because people use VPN services to do a scan, to use for spamming or whatever they want to. And those IP addresses get blocked by major servers. And our server is one of them that can block a VPN. So if you ever go to log in to Leadgenmagic hosting or MPP hosting and you'll get a blank page where it can't be displayed, check you're not using a VPN. The other thing you do, if you've got a dynamic IP address on your router, reboot your router, it'll clear it. If you still can't get in, then raise a support ticket either with Mike and Keith for Magic Page plugin hosting, or with myself for Leadgenmagic. Now you have to send it through the right support channels. I can't, even though I do have access, I have to have a support ticket through MPP hosting to be able to give you support. I can't just simply go in and go done. It's not as easy as that. I need to make sure I've got a support ticket logged into the system, and then Keith passes it on to me. If you raise a support ticket with MPP hosting and don't get a response, send me the support ticket number for that side, and then I can go in and have a look for you. There's not a problem then. But that's generally what's happening. If you get a blank page or you can't get to your sites aren't down. It's just purely if you're using a VPN that can stop that from happening.
Pin Warrior asked, is there limitations on the number of pages you can have when you're using your hosting through a Magic Page?
Okay. I got asked the other day the difference between MPP hosting and Leadgenmagic hosting. Okay. So MPP hosting is restricted depending on what package you bought when you signed up. A lot of them are 50 sites only, up to 250 pages on MPP. With mine, it's unlimited sites, unlimited pages. The only restriction you have is each mailbox is 10 gig, and that's the same on MPP hosting. But you could have 50, 100 mailboxes for all it mattered, but each one is a maximum of 10 gigs of space. So if you receive a lot of spam onto one of your email addresses from your domain name, you need to be going in and deleting all those emails out of the mailbox to make sure it's clear. Now, I also got asked the difference between Magic Page plugin / Lead Simplify themes, well, they're actually called templates, JSON files, and what I'm doing with the themes. So the difference between the two, when you use MPP or Lead Simplify templates, each one is an individual JSON file. So what you have to do, you create a home page on WordPress and you get that set up. Then once you've done the home page, you import the JSON file. Then you create the next page, which is the Contact Us page, import the relative JSON file, and that's in Elementor. Then do the same with the contact page and services page. When you've done all of that, and you've done it, then you've got to add the WordPress menu to the header, a WordPress menu to the footer. All right. With my setup, it's very simply you install WordPress, you import it as a theme, and you hit a couple of buttons, and it's installed within probably a couple of minutes, if that. And once it's all installed, you get all the pages ready in there for you, waiting, all the standard pages in there without X fields, all the menus done for you with WordPress. So all you literally got to do is edit the content on those. Okay, so that's the first part with it. The second part is that we've got a directory site build that Mike talks about. That build is all done for you with all the X fields in and everything you need. You very simply upload it as a theme, click a couple of buttons to install it, and then you go to MPP and you get the prospect data, and then you go back to the MPP plugin with the directory site and import that into MPP, and it's built apart from the front page content. All right. And then the third part to it is where myself and Daryl work together, and with Daryl's magic form, we are gradually upping and introducing more and more themes. We've been doing a bit more development at the moment on it, which is taking longer than we expect. But when this is running smoothly and we're happy, we're going to release a whole bunch of themes ready to roll, where you go to Daryl's form, you fill the data in on his magic form, and then import that into MPP, and the site is virtually built for you with the content in the right place. And so these are the things myself and Daryl have been working on the last few weeks, not going as fast as we like, but we only release products that we know are going to be reliable. And that's why we're holding back a lot longer than we like to, but we'll get there. And so that's the real difference. I'll try and put a demo together next week of the standard themes and JSON files for people to walk through how long it takes. And I'll put a timer on the screen as well, showing you how long it takes to put 4 pages into WordPress with JSON files and how quick you can put my themes on. And I'll try and put that together for next week.
Okay, sounds good. We do have some questions in the group, but let's hold the questions. Just keep putting questions in. We're going to come back and circle back to your questions and answer them all at once. I'd like to give Simon a chance. If you want to put your screen on up there, we can go ahead and start through what you wanted to show us.
Yeah, I'm just moving my screen around now, so it should be available there.
All right, is this the right screen? There we go. Yep.
No, that's the one, and that'll give me a chance to go and get a drink because my throat's dry. So I'll let you start presenting.
I'll mute you, Mike. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, this is just to go through some hints and tips on image optimization. So, Daryl, just so we start from the right place, I'm right in thinking that MassPage does these things anyway. So if I think about the things that you might want to optimize for SEO, like file size, dimensions, geotagging, file names, MassPage does all these things to start with.
We do, except for the geotagging. We don't use EXIF data. We use IPTC, which is what we've found that Google seems to track more. But as far as everything else, we do reformat. We can resize. We can compress. The alt tags are all done on the WordPress side, and we change the file name. So all of this stuff we do.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about here is if you've got your homepage or a blog, or if you're posting things to Google My Business or Instagram or various other things, there might be times that you need to optimize these things for other reasons. So I'm just going to go through some of the tools that I use and some of the workflow. Obviously, I'm a photographer, so I've taken this is a property image, and I'll export these files at 3,840 pixels wide, and will come out quite big. These files will be 8 or 9 megabytes per file when they come out of my editing software. So they're far too big for me just to put straight into WordPress or whatever else. So I go through a bit of a workflow. So if I just I'm going to share this later on, so there's some notes and some links and stuff, but the things that I would go through are, first of all, making sure I'm using the right format. So I'd recommend using JPEG, which we're all pretty much familiar with. There is a new format called WebP, which is viewable on Chrome browser, and I think a few others as well, that enables you to compress files even further. But for most of what we're doing, JPEG's a good format. There's a great bit of software I use, a lot of photographers use, called JPEG Mini. You guys might be familiar with it, but it's a compression software that keeps the images at the same quality, but reduces them by about 74%. And I'll show you that working in a second. The great thing about that is you can use it on the files you're going to upload to your website, but you can also use it to compress images on your hard drive. So if you've got 1, 2, whatever terabyte of images, you can go through the entire back catalog and reduce all of those down. So it's a great way of freeing up space. Obviously, dimensions, that's another thing you can look at. I recommend, maybe I'm a bit lazy actually, I pretty much put all my images out to 1600 pixels wide, and that just means that they're kind of big enough for most applications if you want to put them in a gallery, but they're not too big. If I'm using a background image like a hero image, I might put them at 2400, but I'll show you that in a second. And then as on the data side of things, you obviously can look at things like file names and then geotagging and alt tags, and that's just ways of adding more data. So really from an image optimization point of view, you're looking at how do you get the file to be as small as possible, but still have the quality. And then you've got to obviously how do you give Google some data to see, use some keywords, use geotagging, use some alt tags. So I'm just going to, hopefully this will work. We'll see in a second. Show you some of the tools that I use. So hopefully you can still see this. Can people see there's some images here? Yeah. See all that, guys?
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, we can see that.
So this is a job I did recently for some drone photography. There's a load of images that I've taken out. But if we look at the file sizes, that's 11 megabytes, 9, 10, way too much for a website. If you put all these on a gallery or homepage, you'd be facing some issues. So what I'm going to do is run it through JPEG Mini, and I just wanted to show you just how fast it is. So if I upload this, I've set it to export into a folder on my desktop. I've set it for 1600 pixels wide, and let me just get into this. Hold on a second. So I take these images here, and it'll just goes through it. So hopefully you can see on the screen there, it literally just whips through them all, and it's reduced them by on average by 80%. So it's a massive saving just straight away, and it's on 13 pictures there. You could set it to do 1,000, 10,000, and eventually get through them. So I've got those images here, so you can see these are now 700 kilobytes, 600. Now I could make them even smaller than that because the 1600 I could go even smaller, but that's just a start. And then some other things I do, just quickly show you. I use a bit of software called Photo Mechanic. So this enables me to easily rename images. So I can select a whole batch like that. I can rename the images. I've called them here Teesside Property Photographer, which is where I'm based. I can just rename them all in a wanna. And then finally, I can also set GPS coordinates. So Google, obviously, particularly for local SEO, it's great for having this embedded information in. If you're sending it to Google My Business or even putting on your own website, I can actually set the coordinates. So I'll set them for Teesside. I'll press accept and I'll apply, and that's done. So in a fairly short order, I've optimized all those images. Now, the only thing I haven't done is the alt tags. But when I upload it to my website, I've got some software in there I can also use as well. And the software I use is something called Image SEO. And I'll just show you a quick example of that. So here's the media file in here. I can change the alt tags here. Just put house example. I can change the file names as well. So all those things together, if I get back to my original slide, are all different ways. So in quite a short period of time, I've gone through all those processes. It might have been a bit of a blur, not to go through all of it in too much detail, but I've chosen the format. I've compressed the images down. I've set them all to be 1600 pixels wide. I've optimized the file names, I've geotagged them, and I've changed the alt tags as well. So all those things together you can do individually, but these tools that I've listed on the right, and I'll share the slide, you can also optimize them in bulk as well. So that's just to give you a bit of an idea of some quick tips on what you can do to optimize your images individually or in bulk. So I don't know if it was too fast to go through things. If anybody's got any questions, hopefully that was a bit of a helpful insight.
Well, you got a few comments. Don said that was
too fast.
Yeah, he said that was fast. That it processed them like that. Now that is a Mac software, right? The image compression, the mini one.
JPEG Mini is for PC and Mac. You can download. I think it's $59 for a license, standard license, which I think is great value. So even just to run it through your hard drive just to, free up, 500 gig or whatever. It's pretty good.
So, so one of the things that we would like to do with our form is be able to set the cropping sizes. So you'll be able to set the sizes you want the cropping. Currently, it just automatically will crop the wide image just a certain size. So we'd like to give some more dimensional control over it. But I think ours does basically what your process is doing is just all in one step. It kind of does it all at once. But in some cases, I had one customer of mine want to take a site that was badly set up with the images and completely reframe everything so that it goes through all my tools, and then all of those images get replaced. So it's almost like your short pixel, but actually add the metadata inside it at the same time as compressing the images. So that's something we've looked at. We haven't built that yet, but that is something that I think would be kind of a cool thing to do, so that we can.
Short pixel is why I use. I mean, it's mentioned on the slide there. So if you want to do bulk, so say you have a load of images, it's common that somebody might have, I don't know, 2,000 images on an existing website, and it's not on mass page. It's in their blog or whatever. A product catalog. Is you run short pixel through it, and it just goes through the catalog and optimizes it all. So, and that'll change your file names, reduce the size, convert it to WebP as well if you needed to. So that's very useful, rather than do it one by one.
The reason why we built that into our form was one is we want to give the mass pages a little more advantage than the normal tools that you have, because mass pages for major cities are hard to rank, right? Where your outer cities and smaller suburbs, you can rank fairly well for. So we wanted to give as many upper hands as you can to getting your SEO up there. And some of the tools that you showed are great for your standard website as well, to kind of get that up to snuff before you start adding the magic pages over to the side of all of that. So absolutely. I appreciate you bringing that to the table today. Anything else you want to add? You got a wow from Tim.
Wow. Okay. I think it's pretty quick once you get it into the workflow. I mean, I like the images to go up into the website already optimized and compressed, and it means it's quicker to upload, to be honest. So, I go through my own approach on that. But even if it's already on your own website already, you can still bulk optimize it. The alt tags is an important thing that most people never get around to doing either, and that software that I've mentioned, Image SEO, is it uses AI, so it'll actually go through the images and it'll look at them. So if I put like a picture of a couple in, or a dog or something, or a car, it'll recognize the car and it'll actually put that into the alt tag. I mean, you could spend days doing that if you wanted to optimize it, but you can run that software called Image SEO. There's a link in the PDF that you'll share, and it just does it. So it makes a big difference. Just if you've got an old site, you want to just really optimize it. So
I like it.
Yeah,
very cool. All right, so I guess is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn, Daryl.
All right, let's see.
And we're running on time, which is great.
All right, good. All right, so what I'm going to show you is a shiny object for the week.
Lovely.
So I came across this clientsnest.net, and I bought it. I bought the whole funnel, the pro. I bought the done for you, all of this stuff, just because I wanted to show it to you guys, to show you what's on the inside. And I'm going to probably use this. So basically what this does is it's something that would be an alternative to Lead Simplify if you wanted to do something in this regard. This is an estimator type of thing. And what it does is, I'll show you for an example here. This is let me just go to the forms here. We'll create a new form, okay? And this one comes with all of these. So web design services, SEO, estimation, video creation services. Let's just do video creation services. And it'll create this funnel. Okay. And each funnel step, you can go ahead and edit all of these different parameters. Okay. So if you you go through and you can see each one of these steps has different pricing in it. Okay, so you can set the calculation of how much that pricing is going to be. So if you've ever wanted to do a cost calculator on your mass page site or your regular website, I highly recommend this tool. It's not perfect yet, but I like where they're going with it, and I'll point out where it definitely needs a couple of little things. Let's see, clients nest. So if you go in here and we go to edit, you can go in and change your pricing on all of this stuff. So if you get this particular thing, you can go in and say, all right, or make your own. So they say based on the video length, you go ahead and you edit it. And then you have it $37 for a maximum of 1,000 minutes. Okay. So it goes up for each minute, $37, I believe. All right. So when you get into the front end, for some reason I'm getting stuck here. Let's see your step. Oh, X. There we go. It brings you back through. Okay. So when you fill all this stuff out, you can change the design. You can add coupon codes, which is similar to like a Thrive card or something like that. And if you get the upgraded plan, you can add payments on the end of the funnel as well. So not only do they get an estimate for it, they can make a subscription payment. So I'm just going to do this one for now. I'll hit save so you can kind of see how this could work with your actual form. Okay. So this would be inserted into your mass page. So I'll show you for an example. I just took this one about storytelling and I just put it in the same short code as I have the Lead Simplify form. And I just took their little, let's see here, short code here. All right, this little code here, I put this in my form, and then I moved it over, and it came into the template, and I just put it in here. So then it says, go ahead and get started, and now you have yourself a shopping cart. So you go ahead and you click on this, go to the next step. It says, do you have an existing draft? And you say, I have an existing draft. Now they give you a box to upload it. So you can program all of this stuff to build this perfect funnel for you, okay, that can get orders right from your mass page site or your regular website, right? So here's that. We went ahead. Now choose the word count, okay? So as you increase this, see the price goes up at the top, okay? So you can get a really good estimate for somebody on what to do, okay? And then you can schedule a meeting, you put in your information, you can do a calendar when you can be called, hit next step, and it says, here's the final cost and here's the estimate. Do you want to write a message? You can write a message, right? You can enter your email. And you can order the services. And it will go ahead and put in a lead, basically, into your client's nest, okay? Now, if we had put in this video creation one, okay, I'll go back and let's see here. It won't work from that, so we will go into here. I don't think that was the video creations one. That was the other one here. So we're going to go into edit the page. Control find lead. All right, lead capture. We're just going to go ahead and change this here. Okay, this came over from my form. This is where the Lead Simplify would go. This doesn't replace Lead Simplify. If you do any kind of lead gathering, this doesn't do lead gathering really, or distribution or anything like that. This is just if you're trying to sell some kind of service or some kind of consulting or any kind of service, you want to have a checkout that gives somebody the proper quote, so you don't even have to talk to them. That this is a cool way to go. So let's say here you are. What type of video are you looking for? Long sales form video. We click on next, and video length. We're going to say we want it to be 18 minutes. This is based on per month. This is where they have a problem. Like it doesn't, it only gives you subscriptions. I want to be able to buy it one time. So I haven't figured out how to do that. I have a ticket in to do that, but can I upload the script? You can do that. Then all of a sudden now you have an upload box. Okay. And you can go ahead and upload your script to them, to you, if this is yours. And we will go ahead and hit the next step. Do you want it under 30 days? Yes. Do you want a fast delivery? It increases the cost, right? These are all things that you can modify yourself. And then you hit this. It builds you sort of an invoice, right? You put in your email address. All right. And then they go down here and they hit order my thing. And it should go to a shopping cart, which it did, but it should. Let's take a look if I have. Anyway, I can't fool with this in my period of time here that I'm doing this. But if you put this on and you set up your PayPal payments and all that, it should do that. So let me just go back to it just to see if it. Let's see.
Now, while Daryl's just getting back to that point, there was a moment when Daryl put a bit of code into the Magic Page form. For those that are new, and I know we've got some new people watching who have joined Leadgenmagic recently, when you install Magic Page plugin, if you have that tool, and you create a Magic Page and save it, and there's plenty of training out there to show you that, then you create what's called X fields, and those X fields are where you can go in and you create an X field, you put a bit of your text in there or form code, you click save, and then you take the name of the X field and put that on the front on the page where you want that to appear. And so then if you want to go in there later time and replace the form, you don't if you got the form, let's say 5 times across your website, you can just simply nip into the X field section and replace the form in there, and anywhere where you put that X field 5 times across your site, it'll get replaced. So that's what Daryl was doing there. You're back at your step now, Daryl?
Yeah, it did work. So if we go in here and you just hit through the steps, you get to here, order my video. It's going to require that you put it in an email. And then you can do your order, and it's going to take you to this time PayPal to complete the order. Okay, so then you just match up the orders to the payments, and you've got yourself sort of a shopping cart with a funnel attached to it. So somebody asked, I think Ryan asked, is it on OTO1? I believe so. That's the Pro that gives you the payments module in it. So Don says he's got it too. Good stuff. And yeah, so it's I got all 4 of the OTOs, or all 3. I think there was 3 OTOs because I wanted to experiment with it and see what I could do with all of these things. It's kind of, I think, kind of cool because I know how much work goes into programming something like this. It's not perfect yet. Again, I haven't figured out a few different parts why the flow isn't better, but these guys put out a tool called Leads Gorilla, and I thought that was a nice looking tool. So when I see stuff that's being done right, I like to try to support it, shiny object or not.
No, I mean, this is one of those tools that if you want to build sites and have forms like this on there, to give people sort of pricing and take payments. I think this is a great idea. I can see applications. I deal with a lot of children's entertainers. To have a form like that for them, where you could adjust it to say, oh, you look at how many kids you want at the party and this, that, and the other. I guess you could use it for that application as well.
Yeah, you could. Any kind of service, a photographer, a DJ, consultant, any kind of service. You just build it up.
Yeah, anything where you're putting a package together, I think that's right. And I think if you can find out if you can just do that one-off payment rather than subscription, I think it'd be brilliant. You can put all sorts of different elements there for the package. I think it'd work really well for quite a lot of different businesses. Yeah.
Yeah, considering it has a coupon code, I thought that was sort of completing that shopping cart experience that you want to be able to have, so that you can give people a discount. I love a couple of things that I would suggest to them, and I've already suggested it, is to have a C name, so you can have your own domain name as far as the form goes. And that was one of the things. And also the one-time payment is good. I'm glad that it has Stripe integration, which is super. And
what's the software called, Daryl? Did you say
called Client's Nest? Yeah, clientsnest.net. Yep. And it just came out on JVZoo this week. I don't have an affiliate for it or anything like that. I just wanted to point it out to you guys because I think that this works pretty well inside the mass page pages. And it's mobile responsive, and it can, maybe take some of your traffic and convert it into some money for you. So
sounds very, very good.
He says that the launch ends tonight, so if you want to get it, maybe check it out. I'm not sure that could be some fake FOMO. So yeah. I don't know. So it could be just with a one-time price. I think this is definitely the type of thing that's going to have a monthly cost to it. So it looks like it's built not to be a JVZoo build and run kind of thing. I think that he's just launching it, and then he'll have a user base, and then they'll go ahead and probably charge a monthly fee for it, and rightfully so. To develop something like this, you have to pay people to keep it going and keep improving on it. So I liked it. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. That's my share for the day.
Plus, personally, I've stopped buying one-time deals from people unless I know that their roadmap is to go monthly, because there are too many shiny objects out there where they release something, one-time price, 6 months later, bye-bye to your £1,000 you spent on that product. And it's really unfair on people. I also say with these tools, I mean, it's an amazing tool, but I always write down tools that I'm going to use, and I say to myself 3 times, can I use this in my business? And if one of the 3, if I get 1 yes and 2 no's, then I won't buy it. It has to be 100% yes. I'm going to use this with my business, because what's the point of buying a tool that you're never going to use? Right. It's wasting money each month on that you're not using the tools you've got. So it's really important if on anything. And I mean, that product, it looks at hundreds, thousands of ideas with it, and to know that they're going to go monthly with it. It's going to be here in 2 years, 3 years time. It's really important. There are some people out there that are just out to get the money out your pocket for the sake of it, and you just don't want to be wasting your money. You really don't. So,
yep,
we've all been there. Yeah, I've got quite a few lifetime deals, and some of them just don't work anymore. They're just sold it and hit and run. And they stop developing it, and that's the last that it happens.
Yeah. I have to the right of me up here a whiteboard, right? And the whiteboard itself, I make a list of products that, and I've got my business at the top. I've got my business goals written on that whiteboard. So every day when I come into my office, I look at that board and I know what my business goals are and what I'm focusing on. And those are the things I deal with. And then if another big project comes in and I know I haven't got time to do it, I'll offer it to someone else who I know can take it on. or I will say to the person, sorry, I can't take you on right now. You have to wait 6 months. The top priority for me is looking after my customers with Leadgenmagic. The second priority to me is actually continuing generating leads on my own sites. And then the third one is all the people who stopped paying me when COVID hit, and eventually they'll come back on board because the UK is slowly being unlocked, hopefully, fingers crossed. And so they're the third people in my list. And I'm always honest with them. Those people I say, look, I've got projects that are bringing in me money. If you want to pay me, I'll put you to the top of my list. But if not, wait. And you have to focus. If you end up going off on one path to do one project, another path to do another one, another path to do another one, you'll never get anything done and you'll never make money. And then you feel defeated. That first feeling of when I first got my first sales lead in, and I sold that lead on to a local business, was an amazing feeling, really was. And then the business has just grown from there. And it's just I always say this as well. There's only one person in life that can hold you back, and that's you, no one else. If someone tells you you're rubbish at what you're doing, ignore them, go and learn it. But time into your business for the sake of 6 months hard work, right, could end up being a business that will support you for years to come, where you can then put your feet up and have all those lovely holidays in the sun, and that's where if we're allowed to travel, that is.
Yeah. So what do you say we take a few of the questions inside the chat? And if you have questions, go ahead and put them inside the chat. We are live tonight. It is a Sunday night. This is officially live. This is not some kind of recorded playback or anything like that. So Matthew Reed asked if the pages are static, how do we do it? Or do we simply let it as we did before? What I'm going to do is I'm going to refer you back to the Magic Page plugin group because Keith Best did a training, and I believe it's in the group right now and also on Facebook, YouTube that goes through it. We could show it to you. We're going to be showing it many times because we're going to be doing a lot of different pages and different techniques and how to do it. But it is basically the same thing as what you do for the HTML pages. What do we call them? The backlinks builder. It's basically the same thing as that. Once you build up your template, which you probably already have, Matthew. When you have your template inside of Elementor, you're just going to go over to the right side and then export it as pages and posts. And just follow and answer the questions and experiment around with it a little bit to tinker with it. So I think because that is a Magic Page thing, it's outside of the products that we're doing. I think it'd be good to refer you back to the demo that was there this week.
When they made the announcement in Mike's group about doing the webinar, I popped a little video in there, and I'll try and find it to add it to the Leadgenmagic group and Daryl's as well, that just very briefly showed how to install my templates, because I wanted to show a site from scratch, but B, how to very quickly generate the pages using the new version of Magic Page plugin. And that's a very short video to show you. But the ultimate training is what Keith's did on the webinar. For those that didn't make it to the webinar, there is a repeat out there in Mike's group that you can go and see. And like Daryl said, if you want to do a little bit of special training, let us know, because we're looking for subjects we can do over the coming weeks. And maybe next week is something where I'll very briefly, I'll create a page and I'll show you me exporting it. And you guys can go and have a look, because I've got some spare domain names I don't mind sharing.
Yeah, I think there's going to be plenty of times to go over that. And because that was just done this week, it'd be good for you to definitely check out what Keith Best has done inside the group. I don't want to steal his thunder on what he presented for that. And I think we'll get back to showing that in weeks to come, because we have a lot of, there's just like with the importing and exporting, there's a whole lot of things we can do now that we have groups and categories and pages and posts and tiering. We can do all kinds of things with that magic link. So we'll be showing you a lot of that stuff in our trainings and during the Sunday live. So don't worry about that. More to come on that. There was a question. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was just going to quickly add to the Magic Page stuff. I watched the live webinar and I was talking at the end of it to help Mike. I know Daryl popped on at the end as well. But the main thing is there's a point when Keith starts talking about schema. Now, I know we've got some new people new to Magic Page plugin. Can I just advise you, don't worry about schema at first. All right. Focus on building the website, get your pages built, get X fields added, get MPP in there, get everything set up how it's meant to be first. Then do focus on adding your schema last of all, then generate the pages. Okay. But when it gets to the schema bit in the live training that Keith and Mike did, just pause at that point and don't go watching it because it'll overwhelm you, I feel. Right. And that training is amazing what Keith's done, but focus on the bit on generating the pages. That's the main thing.
Yeah, we have a hosting question that you can probably answer, Stephen. Is add-on domains on a separate IP address? You can't do an add-on domain on a separate IP address. As far as I know, that's only going to be connected to that one.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to do it, and we recommend this, we don't give training on this purely because of support. To support this product I'm going to mention can cause a lot of issues sometimes because of user configuration. But there's a product called Cloudflare. And what you can the way I set up Cloudflare myself is I will point the domain name at the hosting company I'm initially setting up with. And I will do all the builds and everything I have to do. And when the site is built and ready and I'm happy, then I go to Cloudflare and add it to Cloudflare, and it'll pull in all the server settings automatically, and it'll give you some new name servers, which you then update on the domain itself. All right. And I do it that way on purpose. I had someone a while back who'd gone and changed their server settings on an existing connection in Cloudflare, and it wasn't working. And I said, have you got the server settings right? Well, I don't know. I said, well, sorry, I can't support you with that because that's not my product. Cloudflare is not mine. And if I spent all the hours supporting people with Cloudflare, I wouldn't get any of my own work done. So I have to tell people to go and look for videos on that or pay for support. We're happy to, to take on case by you're paying for our time. If something's not working and you've already got Cloudflare, change your name servers on the domain directly to the hosting and test if that's working. If that's working, there's a problem with Cloudflare.
Okay. All right. Good advice. Another question from Pin Warrior is also, if we decide to change to other hosting, can we? So can you export basically from your hosting and Mike's hosting?
Right. With our hosting, the best advice I can give you, when you set the hosting up, there's a plugin already in there to help speed the site up. And I'm trying to remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's Stack something or other. I'll look it up and I'll let you know next week, so I can't remember what it's called. You have to go and find it under the file manager in the control panel and remove that plugin, all right, before you can transfer your site out. Because otherwise what will happen, it will conflict. All right, and the only way to disable that caching plugin, and there's a few other hosts I know that have their own cache plugins already installed. So you have to go into File Manager under the WP Content section, plugins, and find the plugin that's doing. I think it's called Stack Cache, possibly.
It's Stack Cache, yeah, that's what it's called, Stephen. Yeah.
So you need to go and find that plugin under File Manager and just delete it. And once that's gone, then you can back it up. Now, the second thing to remember, if you're using other plugins, what I recommend people do, before you back up your site, just go in and tick the top box and disable all plugins. Leave them in there, but disable all plugins, do a backup of the site, all right? Then enable the plugins back on that site and then transfer it over. The other reason behind that is we found people bringing sites to us on our hosting. We have actually found issues where WordFence has caused a problem. They've raised a support ticket with us. My guys have had a look and gone, well, it's just WordFence. Right. So when you whether you're moving the site to us or away from us, make sure that you disable all plugins, do the backup WP Vivid or all-in-one migration, and then transfer it. And that's the best advice I can give you on that.
That's an interesting one. I have never heard that. I sometimes will deactivate all my plugins to update them because of that same reason, because they can kind of crash it sometimes if you do too many at once. But when they're deactivated, they seem to update a lot easier because there's more resources there. But that's interesting that WordFence could cause an issue there. That's kind of cool. I like that. Robert asked, is MPP hosting going to have Linux on it? I think it is Linux.
Yeah, well, no, what it is currently, the way the hosting is currently set up is the same as MPP. MPP is you add your domain name, you enter coupon code, it automatically installs WordPress, and you're all done. Now, Leadgenmagic is switching its set up to Linux. And the reason behind that is it's actually easier and quicker to have one single Linux account, and then you'll be able to go in and add multiple domain names under that one account. We're just redoing the training, and then what's going to happen? Existing users who want access to the Linux platform, we'll send an email out saying you need to raise a support ticket, and we will give you a one-time coupon code which you can then set up the Linux part, because you only need to set it up once, and that's it. And then when we switch to that platform totally in Leadgenmagic, the idea then is to give people that when they sign up, they get a one-time coupon code, and then they add all the domain names underneath one domain name. So we're just tweaking the training on that, and so that's the way we're moving towards, because it's actually quicker and easier to add a domain name in the host under the single domain name, rather than the other system where you put a coupon code in, like MPP hosting and how Leadgenmagic is at the moment.
Okay, got another hosting one for you. Sorry, guys, so many hosting questions tonight, but if you can drop maybe the links to the two different hosting options, Stephen, if you have them, and we'll move on to the next question. If you could put it into the...
I mean, currently, the only option with Leadgenmagic at the moment is to do the WordPress version. This week it's all being updated, so if you can bear with me a few days, I will do a video up when it's ready. I'll do a video update in both groups with links to it, so you can go and grab it. If you're desperate for the Linux version, drop me an email, support@leadgenmagic.com, support@leadgenmagic.com, and I'll get my support guys to, if you've got an account with me already, have a look. If you haven't, reach out to me again, because in Leadgenmagic, I did a deal on Mike's Webby. I've left it open because quite a few people had a small issue with the coupon code, where you can get the hosting, the standard themes, the directory themes, and soon, when we got it running smoothly, also all the Magic Form themes, all for $27 a month, and that's half price for the whole package. And I'll keep getting told by people the hosting alone's worth that, you know.
Yeah.
So you're getting a bargain deal, and as we add more and more content, and we'll be adding a lot more in the near future to the site, that price is going to increase. So anyone who's got in an amazing price in the first place, including the lifers at the very start of things, the monthly price will be increasing. And so, you know, anyone who gets in on a good price, I'd recommend you stick at it, because if you leave and want to come back, the price is only going to go up, and you won't get that deal again.
If you don't mind, I'm going to plug also the hosting that I recommend for if you're doing a lot of sites. So if you're just doing a few sites, you know, under 20 sites, obviously what you get with you know, the shared plans. But if you want dedicated resources and you want unlimited sites and a lot of dedicated resources, go to go.ht/MPP hosting for Magic Page plugin hosting. This is a hosting package that I have built with WebHost Python that is all dedicated everything, and it has WordPress. It has Plesk on it with unlimited sites, but it has the web hosting platform that has WordPress, the WordPress kit toolkit. And so with one click of a button, you can install all of your like WordPress favorite plugins, all of your stuff, you know, your passwords, everything is like set up all at once in there. So if you're interested, take a look at it. It does have the toolkit on it, and it's MPP hosting. after go.ht. So just want to
With
throw that out.
Daryl, with that hosting, if I had 200, you said there's unlimited sites. If
Yep.
I've got 200 sites and I want to put 200 sites on with 250 pages each, can I do that?
Oh yeah, you could definitely do that. I mean, this is like, you take a look at the packages on there. It's huge. I mean, it's just a matter of the storage space, and it's all SSD. It's all dedicated.
So they charge they charge for each package is the amount of space you can get. So whilst you can have unlimited sites, you can obviously.
It depends on the size. I mean,
if you've got 50,000 pages, you can't go on plan one. That's what you're saying.
Well, yeah. Now with the new MPP, you have to take a look at these pages and posts actually taking up the hard drive space. With the previous version of MPP, if you just did the dynamic pages, which you can still do, that you could do a lot of sites under 50 to 75 megabytes easy. The new sites will take up more, obviously, but if you're using my form and my images, that keeps the size of your sites down very small, because we're hosting your images on Cloudflare, so you don't have to worry about that at all. So
I added to the other day, I was testing the plugin MPP, because I've been doing a lot of testing with MPP6, and I did a 2,500 page website, and it's an old domain I didn't care about.
Yep.
And I thought, I'll see if I can break the server, and I couldn't break it.
Yeah.
2,500 pages. I couldn't believe it.
Oh yeah. You could definitely do a lot, and especially because you can do them in intervals, because you have the groups. You can do one group, then another group, then another group. So, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
I think this was a question for Simon.
No, I get what is Matthew actually saying. He's saying that all those images he's mentioning for images are done with Magic Form at once. So I think he's saying your Magic Form, Daryl.
Yeah.
Right, because with Daryl's Magic Form, you can upload, all the images, and it adds all the geodata automatically, and it resizes the images. You could, there's a section in there on the form at the bottom where you can add like 30 images, and it'll add all the geodata, resize them for you, and then you have a choice. You can either you can use the Magic Form plugin that pulls all the images in for you, or you can download them and upload them. I think that's an amazing feature. I've used the form a few times to resize images, and it does it really well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think you're right. Spot on. There's another question here from Matthew. Is there an advantage to making dynamic or static MPP for SEO? An example?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Simon, what do you think about that from an SEO perspective? Oh, you're muted for some reason.
We can't hear you, Simon.
We can't hear you, Simon. You're unmuted. Is it on your microphone side?
Well, while he's fixing that, I've done tests on both dynamic sites and also static pages. Okay, when Magic Page came out, I was in on it early, and it's an amazing plugin. And the only thing that we were missing from it, always missing from it, was static pages. So I used to use two products. I used to use Page Generator Pro and Magic Page plugin together. And it was a thorn in my side, because with Page Generator Pro, you can do the nearby cities, but it takes a ton of setting up to do and get it working right. So now Magic Page plugin does the nearby cities for you, and it does the static pages. And what I love about it, you generate the static pages, you generate a sitemap. And the cool thing is, I mean, I don't know about the hosting that you offer, Daryl, but in MPP and Leadgenmagic hosting, in the control panel, you can hit a button that will actually generate your sitemap for you. So you need a sitemap plugin now. And so you generate your sitemaps. That's cool. And now what I always do, and there's different theories between myself, Mike, and Keith on this, but I will submit a sitemap to Google, because I want Google to know where my site is. And every time I've done it, within 2 to 3 days, the site's being found.
That's great. Yeah.
I always hear me now, by the way.
Go for it.
I think there's something about the sitemaps there. I think if it's static, I think it's going to be a lot easier to get a sitemap submitted. So I think that's one thing that I need to test out, because I'm just implementing version 6 on my test site at the moment. So that's one thing. I think also it might be slightly faster as well. I don't know, Daryl, if you've got a view on that, but I think a static page is going to be faster than dynamic, so that might give you a bit of an edge.
The funny thing is I think that there may be an advantage, not just with speed, because I think when we did our test, it was just a fraction of maybe 10 milliseconds difference between the dynamic and the static pages. But when you go more simple, sometimes that can be an advantage when you have the Google bot crawling things. So sometimes like HTML pages that are really highly optimized can be crawled a lot easier, and you get more of those pages indexed than if you have a lot of pages with some Thrive architect with some Elementor widgets all within each other, and you start making a lot of complicated things on the page and JavaScript and all that stuff. That's when you start having issues with throwing caching on top of that to have dynamic pages. So I do think that this is a really positive thing, especially for the control over the content, because when I and Keith Best is thinking the same thing, and I think Steven, we were all kind of thinking the same thing. Now that you can export groupings of mass pages, now you can do a whole different ball game, because you can save templates. We'll go over this, but you can save your templates, then re-export them as additional pages, and then link them to each other, right? And you can kind of create a whole lot of linking power for various settings, long tail keywords, not just location pages. Your affiliate links, your taking a form like we just showed you, and how you can use that as part of your strategy. So there's a whole lot of things you can do. The reason why I'm so into mass pages is not just to try to trick Google. It's actually the challenge of taking sort of a cookie cutter that you create and to produce dozens or hundreds, thousands of pages that are really highly optimized, that give benefit to the customer, that are not just a bunch of spam, and can add value. So when you can do that, to me, it's like being ambidextrous, to be able to produce mass pages, but also be able to have them be valuable and have them have content that has click through, that sticks, and have low bounce rates and all of that kind of stuff. That makes me a happy mass pager. When you have low bounce rates, you have long time on the page, you have some useful tools and content. The other week we showed that coin rule site, and in the middle of the coin rule site, there was this little tool about how much money you can make if you a little slider tool. Well, with that software that I just showed you tonight, Client Rule, you can do different things like that. You can make a kind of cool little estimator and stick it in the middle of your page so that you get more time on the page. Even if people are not making a checkout with you, you can build out some kind of a cool little tool like that, and and make your page more interesting. Any thoughts?
Well, I was just going to ask. I obviously watched the webinar that the guys did earlier this week. When you've actually published the static pages, I think you can overwrite them. So obviously there's a question about, how do you keep things fresh and update them? And if it's like something from 6 months ago, how do you actually update them? And did I pick up correctly that you can actually just send out a second set of, create a second set of static pages and overwrite the first lot? Did I misunderstand that? Or
yeah,
that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's great then, because then you can have different sets, can't you? You can just send out one set of pages, update the templates, send out another set of pages. Once they're static, they're there as a group. The fact that you can go back to overwrite them, I think that's brilliant. So I'm definitely going to experiment with that.
We got a question for you guys. Who mentioned the indexing?
That might have been, that's me mentioning the indexing. So let me just share my screen a minute so I can show this.
Sure.
I did read the question, so I was sort of preparing myself ready. I'll just wait for my computer to catch up and share the screen, and we want that one there. Right. Hopefully, it should come in a moment. There we go. So on Leadgenmagic and MPP hosting, you come into the control panel, and very simply under Web Tools, it's got Sitemap Generator. You click on that, and it'll whir away and work its magic. And the way it is now, I'm going to say this is going to be a bit slower tonight because I'm streaming at the same time. So when we stream, but you just come in here and you can say, how often do you want it to generate it? Weekly, hourly, monthly, yearly. So I'll say weekly, and I click generate. You do it once on each domain name, and you're done. Very easy, as simple as that. Don't need a plugin for that, which is super duper. So yeah. So I just thought I'd share that briefly, and you can leave it to do that.
Very good, very good. We had a Facebook user said that they were disappointed with version 6 because they were hoping that it would allow them to create multiple MPP pages. Do you want to handle that, Stephen? There is a way.
Yeah, there is a way. In WordPress, and I was just trying to find. Do you want to answer another question? And I'll find something on here, and then we'll come back to it, and I'll show you how to do it. That might be a good thing to do. Yeah.
Sure. As long as it doesn't take up too much time.
No, it takes a couple of minutes to show.
Okay, running over an hour, but yeah, we why don't we open up the guest line for you guys? We are going to open it up. So if you want to join us just to say hello, you're welcome to go.ht/guest, go.ht/guest. We can fit a few people up here. We'll take up to 3 people total to join us and answer your questions right here live on the show here. So go.ht/guest. If you're in the Facebook groups or anything, just go ahead and type them in. So that other people can click on it. Oh, thanks a lot, Stephen. He already did it. So
I had it saved.
Yeah, Facebook doesn't let us post in there without it. So dinner time, Tim. See you soon. Yeah, give me a call this week. We talked about something. We'll get together on that. We'll talk about that. Also, if you want to throw your name in for the wheel of names for a domain name, I will be getting you a list of the domains that we have up for grabs. Let me go ahead and get that so you can see what you could win. And it's coming up slowly here. Is that coming up slow for everybody?
No, it came up quite fast.
I can see it, yeah. See it straight off.
So we got becomedonor.com, we have digsta.com, cafewebs.com, and fastprofits.net. So those are what we have up for grabs, and somebody's going to walk away with one of those, except for Simon, because Simon can't win now. He's part of the group.
Yeah, that's not good. I've been quite lucky to be fair. I have won 2 previously, so I think I've had my fair share. So that's okay.
So this week has to be not Simon in there. That's what
Simon.
we can do.
Put another Simon in there if you want. Yeah, that's no worries.
I'm ready if you want me to quickly show this. So let's come back to my screen. So this is the MPP page, and as you can see, I've only got one page in here. Right now, Mike might tell me off for showing people this, but there's 2 ways. This way I prefer. So we're going to come back over to WordPress, and I've done a search for a page clone at the top. This is the one I like to use, duplicate page. I've already downloaded it because it saves us a bit of time. And I'm now going to click activate. And we'll just let it fire up. So it's activated. Come back over to the magic page. And I'm now going to refresh the magic page to show it up here in a moment. And once it's here, we can duplicate this. And then we hit that. And any minute now, there'll be 2 of them. And now you can edit the next one. What I recommend you do when you first do this, create a blank one. Don't put any data in it. Duplicate it and then use the copy. All right, that's the best way forward with this. The only other way that you can do it, and I won't go into this now because you can always show it another week, is to save the Elementor page as a template, and then but it means you've got to delete your magic page, create it again and pull it in. The nice thing about this is when you do all your Xfield boxes for the SEO, you can create them once, save this page, duplicate it, and all the Xfields are done for the SEO again and again and again. So it's just really down to working your way through there. So hopefully that's going to help you guys use that plugin. And
that's plugin a great tip, Stephen. I have to say that's a great one. You're holding that to the last bit of the show. That's awesome.
So again, it's called Duplicate Page is the plugin that you want to be using. And the only thing to mention, that the cool thing now, because we're creating the physical pages, the dynamic pages don't matter so much. But what Mike did mention to me, if you've got multiple of them, it can confuse the plugin a little bit when it comes to the dynamic pages. But the thing is, you're not actually putting the dynamic pages into a sitemap, so you'll be fine.
Sorry, I was trying to find my mute button.
All right.
Yeah, that was a great tip.
So
one of the
Facebook user says, fabulous tip. Thanks for that, Steve. So you're welcome, whoever you may be.
Yes, in the mystery. So one of the things that would be cool is if when you do a new page, it has a fresh set of X fields and all that. But we can't possibly do that because if we import in, we only get one set of X fields. So Steve will put you in here. What you can do though is something that Steven's very familiar with, because he has to do this for all of his templates, is to create many instances of the website on different versions of different subdomains or different folders. And then when you do those, each one gives you a fresh set of X fields that you can upload from my form. So then you can kind of create, use my form and save those forms so that you can go back and make an adjustment, then re-import it into that subdomain or into that folder. So now you will have not only a new WordPress site, a site within a site, you can also have your X fields all come in from that. So that's another way to do it. But I love your tip. And you'll see if you do it that way, you have multiple magic pages, but you'll also be able to export that stuff differently each time. And then you can always go back and modify it and then not append, but actually overwrite the old pages. And that's really, really great tip, Stephen. Really great tip.
Yeah. Just to mention, when I released the Linux version of the hosting, there at the bottom there's a WordPress install. So what you can do is you click on the install button, and a lot of the hosts will probably have this as well anyway if it's Linux version. You click on WordPress and then you see your domain name that you want to install it on. You do / for an example, if you want to, let's say you're doing, I don't know, plumbing and you want a boiler section, then you'd have your site.com / boiler repairs. And then in there is a fresh install of WordPress. That's where you put the magic page in, and then you pull in using Elementor the template, save it in there, and then generate the pages. And then all the pages under / boiler repairs are there. Then you can have / underfloor heating, / something else. You can have about 20 subdomains, not so much, there's sort of subdomains, but they're / domains. And you have 20 separate WordPress installs with all with magic pages on, and then you use Daryl's form link to that, and you can manage all of them then quite easily in Daryl's form, and you change the data in Daryl's form and just re-import it to the relevant magic page, and you're done.
Awesome. Love it. All right, guys. Well, it is, I guess, time to give away my domain and kind of close out the show. We, again, will show you the domains that are up for grabs. It is becomedonor.com, cafewebs.com, digsta.com, and fastprofits.net. You win. You can take the domain. It's not for a lifetime. Obviously, you have to pay renewal fees and things like that. But you don't have to pay to acquire it. You can always sell these domains if you're good at doing that. We put in Pin Warrior and also Matthew Reed in case they've been participating. So if they want this, they can have first right of refusal if their name comes up. If they want to have a spin again, we can go ahead and spin again. So if we don't have any more names,
we'll give people 30 more seconds just to make sure your name's in, because I know there's a slight delay on the feed from us to you. And within that 30 seconds, if you want to shout go, then pop in on go.ht/guest, and we can add you into the stream and you can shout go. We don't have to show your face if you don't want to, but you've got now 20 seconds to do that within. If we don't see anyone pop in, then we'll allow Simon, who's our new team member here, to shout go tonight, and then we'll see who's going to win. All right, let's see if not Simon's going to win.
Yeah.
So you got about 10 seconds left, and then Simon's going to shout it out. So we just like to give you a chance to get your names in. So, but I want to say tonight what great information you guys have received, and each week we want to give you more and more information. I appreciate Simon's information tonight and what Daryl's done, and we just want to give you a bit more structure each week. We always give golden nuggets in the past here and there, but we're trying to give you a bit more structure, so you know when you come along in the first 45 minutes to an hour, you're going to learn something new. And if you forget what you've learned, go back and watch it again. There's replays on the YouTube channels and on Facebook, so you can go back and watch again. And please like and share this out to people that you think might be interested. We'd be really grateful for that as well.
Yep. Pin Warrior says, very helpful information. Thank you. You're very welcome. And good luck on the domain. Okay. You ready, Simon?
I'm ready if you can hear me. If I'm unmuted.
We can, yeah.
Hear me?
We can hear you.
Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
All right. Here we go. We're spinning. Let's see who's going to be. Is it going to be Robert? I think it's Robert. Hey,
Well done,
Robert. Congratulations.
Well done. Brilliant.
Congratulations, Robert.
There we go, Robert.
And we'll get to that list of domains, so you can go ahead and pick the one that you're going to take away from me. Who's going to steal Daryl's domain? Who's going to steal my domain?
Now, just while Robert comes back to us and says which domain he wants, if we've missed your question tonight, you've got an opportunity now to pop it back in the chat, and we'll happily answer that question. We've got a few minutes left for tonight, so if you have got a question, please pop it in, or you want to pop in and say hello, go.ht/guest.
Absolutely. Let's see. Congratulations, Robert. Got a congratulations from Ryan. Robert might have stepped away. Not sure. We'll find out here in a minute. Robert, if you're there, just go ahead and reply in the chat wherever you're listening, and tell us which of these 4 domains you think you would go with. George says congratulations. And let's see here. He might have stepped away, but that's okay. We know how to get a hold of him. So
he might have to go and have his Horlicks.
Yeah. Oh, he wants Cafe Web.
Hey.
All right. Nice. Cafe Web it is.
I told you there's a slight delay on the feed.
We'll push that along with you. What do you think you would use that, or do you think you would just sell that to somebody else? I reckon
he'll use it now, Robert.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's something that I think could be good for an internet cafe.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or a coffee house or something like that has great internet. I don't know. But yeah, Cafe Webs. Awesome. I mean, that could be a good web design company that's themed around coffee.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're very welcome, Robert. Of course. Congratulations, Robert from Paul Power. All right. Once again, we will go ahead and we'll clear this off. And once again, the last chance to join us on here. Don't be shy. Go.ht/guest. If you want to just come on and congratulate Simon for joining the posse, you're welcome to do so. If you want any kind of answers to questions, if they're brief, we can go ahead and do it now. Otherwise, we can save it for the next program. So. All right, this is our Sunday Live. We do it at 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock UK time, and every single Sunday night, except for last week where I had some personal commitments, and good old Steven was ready to go, and we thought, you know what, this week we're going to bring on a third person, so in case I can't do it or he can't do it, we have another person to bounce off ideas from. and I've been wanting to get Simon involved. So this is I'm really thankful, Simon, for you to jump in with us here.
No, it's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me. It's been good, and yeah, look forward to some more of these. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think that's. Do we have anything else? Congratulations to Simon.
Yep.
Ooh, coffee. Somebody's taking coffee. Coffee at this hour? Isn't Steve over your way? Steve Dimmock?
No, Steve Dimmock is in the USA somewhere. So,
okay, all right.
I think he's originally from the UK, and and then he met me once and decided to peg it to the USA out the one. No, he didn't. But no, Steve Dimmock's a lovely guy. I talk to him a lot, and so it's a sensible time over there. So it's coffee time for him. For me, 11:30 at night, and same with Simon. I don't think I'll be having any coffee, I won't sleep.
Right, yeah. Hey, Pin Warrior asked a question about the Templates Club. Do you need Elementor Pro to edit them for mass pages?
No, the way we set them up as well. When you get them, I recommend a plugin called Element Kits that enables you to add extra elements. And if you do a search on YouTube and Google, there are loads of free plugins where you don't need Elementor Pro. And we've gradually been converting them to use the Cadence theme as well in the background, because what I love about the Cadence theme is you can start doing global colors really easily. And one of the weeks I will do a demo of that as well to show you guys how to change your sites to global colors. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, purely because if you do an evergreen site, and another thing I will briefly touch on, an evergreen site is where you built a site, you backed it up, and you're going to put on another domain name and change it. That's basically the terms of an evergreen site. So imagine this: you got a nice blue themed site set up already, you backed it up and saved it, and you're going to move it to another site, but you don't want that same blue, you want it to be green and yellow all the way across. But with global colors, you can very quickly change those colors, and it changes site wide. So the menus are different color, the textures are different color, different fonts, and so that's the idea of doing global items on a WordPress install. Then you can make it look different enough to rinse and repeat and use it again and again and again.
Yeah, 100%. I'm using Cadence as well now, and I'm migrating my sites from Hello Theme, which I was using, to Cadence. So I think it's definitely a good way to go. 100%.
And it's a very lightweight theme as well, Cadence, I found.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think we've done it for tonight. I really appreciate all of the questions that came in, the participation. We couldn't do it without you guys. So we want to thank you all. I want to thank Simon for joining us. Of course, Stephen for holding things down and being a co-MC with me. I really appreciate it. And
please like, share, and if you're on YouTube, ring my bell, ring my bell.
Ring the bell so we can get
the notifications. You got
That's
to.
Right.
Yeah.
Simon, you're not going to sing, are you?
No, I'm no singing these days.
Okay.
I'm not going to ring Stephen's bell either, anyway. So I'll leave that be.
All right, guys. All right. Thank you so
Thanks,
much
everyone.
for joining us. We'll see you next week. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye now. Bye.